What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another video of the Point After Podcast. Today, discussing the TCU versus Kansas Jayhawks. College game day will be there. The game on Saturday, October 8th, 2022. Guys, I'm going to be straight up honest with you. This is probably one of the most neck and neck, head-to-head matchups that I've ever seen, where I truly don't know which way to go. I have a lean. I'll give you that at the end of the video, but this is a game where it's as even as it gets. And I said that last week again about I think it was Mississippi State and Texas A&M maybe. On paper, it's as even as hell, and yet somehow TCU is a 7-point favorite. I don't know what everybody's looking at that I'm missing. Maybe it's the offensive line, defensive line, something like that. But, I mean, you look at points per game, points allowed, yards per game, yards allowed, rushing yards, passing yards, third downs, penalties. I mean, TCU's been penalized 24 times. Kansas has been penalized 26. It's as even as it gets here. It's going to be one hell of a game for an 11 o'clock kickoff. Now, again, it's kind of the situation where, like, either team could win this game, and I don't think anyone's going to be surprised by it, because TCU, when in the eye of a casual, when they hear, oh, Kansas beat TCU, Kansas just beat TCU, oh well. TCU's a really good football team, guys, and surprisingly so is Kansas, and that's the part that worries me, is no one expected Kansas to win 5 games this year. I think their over-under win total was 4, maybe, if that, maybe lower. TCU, on the other hand, TCU is a pretty good football team, but it's like they're the slept-on team. They're not a blue blood. They're not Ohio State. They're not Clemson. They're not Baylor. They're not Michigan or Penn State or somebody like that you're going to hear talked about over and over, like USC. Like, TCU's sneaky good. They're ranked 17th in the country. They could very easily be top 12. Now, disregard the AP poll in its entirety. It's a sham. I hate it. TCU's poll is absolutely trash, and we're going to come out with our poll probably tomorrow and see, how we compare to the AP poll or whatever. But TCU is a really good football team. What worries me is, can Kansas live up to the spotlight? We saw it in week number 2 where college game day was at Alabama and Texas. Texas lived up to the spotlight. Without Quinn Ewers getting hurt, Texas probably wins that game. In week number 3 or 4, they go on the road to App State. App State almost loses at home in an early kickoff to Troy, where they won on a Hail Mary, probably should have lost the game all in all. Can Kansas handle the spotlight? When's the last time Kansas has been good? When's the last time Kansas has been ranked in the top 25? When's the last time Kansas has started the season 5-0? I mean, we're talking at least early 2000s, minimum. I mean, I don't even know if they've been this good in my lifetime, and I'm 25, 26 years old almost, so I've seen a lot of football, and I haven't seen Kansas at 5-0 in a very, very, very long time, if I've ever seen it. This game, to me, is going to come down to, ultimately, who gets a hot start. TCU has played super efficient on offense. You saw them struggle against Oklahoma a little bit. Brent Venables is a really good defensive coach. Brent Venables can scheme against Sonny Dykes, and ultimately I think that's why TCU struggled a little bit. They had a good 5 or 6 3-and-outs, I think, that game, and they still hung 55 points, okay? Like, TCU is not going to struggle on offense against Kansas. Now, if they do, I'll be utterly shocked. I mean, this game could truly go either way, and there's so many different variables, and like I said, they're so even across the board. Like, it's hard to pick an advantage. It's hard to give an advantage to either team. Like, if you come out and you tell me TCU is going to run for 391 yards like they did against Oklahoma, I'll tell you then TCU is going to win by 20 points or more. But Kansas is also averaging, 218 on the ground. TCU is averaging 297 through the air. Kansas is averaging 200. The difference maker to me in this game is going to be getting off to an early start and winning your third downs. Both these teams are converting on pretty good third downs. I think one team's 50%, one team's like 60%. That's incredible. That's really freaking good. And whoever wins the third down and whoever wins the turnovers, and this is cliche, I get it, whoever wins this probably going to win the game most of the time, but you're even as hell across the board. There is no other advantage. Like, it's comes down to these things for a reason. It's special teams, it's third downs, it's red zone, it's turnovers. Like, you win that, you win the game, because otherwise there is no clear-cut advantage to either team in this situation. That's the difference between a championship caliber team and just a good football team, is can you win the third downs consistently? Can you win the turnover margin in every game? Or can you overcome only turning the ball over once, and that's the difference maker, a bounce the ball type of game, a one-possession type of game. Can you overturn that mistake and win the football game? So you look at Kansas's season. I mean, they beat Tennessee Tech, not that good of a football team. West Virginia on the road in overtime is starting to look like not that good of a win. West Virginia's not a great football team. Then you beat Houston. Same thing. Houston's 2-2. Houston just lost to Tulane, who won 2 games last year. Then you beat Duke. How good is Duke? I really don't know. How good is Iowa State that you almost lost to last week? Should have went into overtime with. I don't know. It's still really early in the season. And the Big 12 is still very, very much up for grabs. And it's a league where anybody can beat anybody. I think really the only clear-cut leader right now is Oklahoma State. But Spencer Sanders, it's not looking great all the time. He's okay. He's good and can win you games. But is he consistent enough to win Oklahoma State a Big 12 championship? I don't know. Flip side, TCU on the road to beat Colorado. You had Chad Morris start that game and got hurt. And now Max Duggan's come in and playing 70 for 94. Played lights out since he's been in. You beat Tarleton State. You go on the road to win a rivalry game against SMU, where you just came from if you're Sonny Dykes. That's a tough place to play. That's a tough game. That's a win. That you played against SMU, who has pissed the hell off against you, or towards you, and you won. It's a good game. Then you go beat Oklahoma, who may not seem like a good team, but that's still a lot of really good players, a lot of really good recruits. They just haven't put it together. It's a new coaching staff. It's a first-time head coach in Brent Venables. I imagine Sonny Dykes probably brought a lot of his staff from TCU with him, so they kind of have that turnover there. Oklahoma's still putting pieces together, okay? There's still a long way to go in that Oklahoma program, so that's a really good win for TCU. I'm leaning TCU to win this game. I don't know if they're going to cover. I'm going to have to look a little deeper into it. Like I said, I'm going to have to find some advantage to give either team outside of the obvious. So I'm going to lean TCU. TCU is treating me really well. I got to see Kansas. Are you legit? Can you handle the spotlight? Can you handle this pressure? You've been number 1 in the Big 12 for like 3 weeks now. The pressure's on. Can you perform? So let me know in the comment section how you guys think this game is going to go. I'm really looking forward to it. 11 a.m. kickoff. I'll be in Charlotte for this weekend, so I'm going to make sure that game's up on the television screen. Not going to miss that one. So thank you guys for tuning in. Let me know in the comment section how you see this one going. Please be sure to hit that subscribe button. We're so close to 200. I think we're at 199 right now. So again, thank you guys, and I look forward to seeing you again next Monday to cover, Kansas plays Oklahoma. Not sure who TCU plays, but I'll be sure to get it on the schedule. Thanks, guys.